In this problem you have three expressions that you need to multiply, and you can choose which two you multiply first. I would suggest, if you notice, this right here and this one over here are identical except for the sign in the middle. And we've learned from when we multiplied binomials that those are going to give us the difference of squares. So I'm going to rearrange these just a little bit. I'm going to say the square root of 5 minus 3. Now I'm going to write the third one down, the square root of 5 plus 3. And then I'm going to write the other one down. So to get you started on this, multiply those two together first, and then take that result and multiply it using FOIL times this one. I'm going to leave this one for you to finish, but I have worked out a couple more problems, so keep watching. Hi there, this is page 430, number 16. The first thing I want you to notice is that I have a square here, and we know that when we square something, it just means to multiply it times itself. So I'm going to write it down 2 times 3 minus radical 2 times 3 minus radical 2 times radical 5 plus 3. So now it looks like I've got 3 binomials. So you've got to choose. I'm going to multiply these two together first, and when I do that, I'm going to use FOIL. So I get 9 for my F. Here's my F. Then I've got my O, which is minus 3 radical 2. Then I've got my I, which is another minus 3 radical 2. Then I have my L, which is plus, and then radical 2 times radical 2, those are buddies, and they give me a 2. So that's what I get so far, and now I still have to remember that I'm going to get to this other expression in just a second. I can simplify what I have in the parentheses here just a little bit, because I can take 9 plus 2, that's 11, and then I have negative 3 radical 2 minus 3 radical 2, that's a negative 6 radical 2. And here's my other expression. And I just need to repeat the process and do FOIL again. So here's my F. It gives me 11 radical 5. Here's my O, which is plus 33. Here's my I, which is minus 6 radical 10. And here's my L, which is minus 18 radical 2. Now in looking at these, I can see that I've got a radical 5, a radical 10, and a radical 2. These are not like radicals, and they're all simplified already, so my final answer is going to be this right here. For this problem, I'm going to do the FOIL first. So that's going to give me F, which is radical 15. Here's my O, which is minus 6 radical 3. Here's my I, minus radical 10. And then here's my L, minus 6 radical 2. Now that's my result of doing FOIL, but I still need to multiply all the way through using distributive now with the radical 5. So I'm going to multiply all the way through with the radical 5. Five times 15 is 75, so I've got radical 75 minus 6 times the square root of 15 minus radical 50 minus 6 radical 10. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of work on this. I'm going to draw my walls in here because I don't want to be tempted to do something that I shouldn't. So I'm going to bring down my symbols, and then I'm going to simplify each one of these. This is radical 3 times radical 25, and I know the square root of 25 is 5. So this turns into 5 radical 3. The next term is as simple as it can be, so I'll just write it down, 6 radical 15. The next term needs a little bit of work because I can write radical 2 times radical 25, and I know the square root of 25 is 5, so that turns into 5 radical 2. And then the last term is minus 6 radical 10, and that's as simple as that can be. So it looks like my answer doesn't have any like radicals that I can combine, and all the radicals are now simplified. So the final answer is 5 radical 3 minus 6 radical 15 minus 5 radical 2 minus 6 radical 10.